Now the Lord. Now the Lord. Yep. Now the Lord said to Abram, get thee out of thy country, thy kindred, no doubt. Leave thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. No map in hand, no coordinates, no address, no preview of the place. Just a voice in a direction and a promise of grace. He said, I will make of thee a great nation. I will bless thee, make thy name great. The foundation of something bigger than anything you can see from here. I will bless them that bless thee, make it clear. And curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. That's the decree. Get thee out of thy country, leave thy kindred behind. Get out of thy father's house, unto a land I will find. For thee he didn't say where, just said go. And Abraham went. That's all you need to know. That's all. So Abram departed just like that. No negotiation, no asking for details, no risk calculation. 75 years old, packed up everything he had. Left Haran, took Sarai's wife, no turning back sad. Took Lot his nephew, took the substance they acquired. The souls they gotten in Haran, and they retired. From everything familiar, headed toward the unknown. Canaan was the destination, the seed was sown. 75 and still moving, still believing the word of a God who called them out of everything. Had heard his name in the city of idols and said, come with me, I'll show you something greater. Abram said, let's see, not doubt, just wonder. The kind of faith that walks before the destination is revealed, that talks back to God, not in question but in motion. Departure is the first act of devotion. Get thee out of thy country, leave thy kindred behind. Get out of thy father's house, unto a land I will find. For thee he didn't say where, just said go. And Abraham went. That's all you need to know. That's all. They came unto the land of Canaan that far. Abraham looked around under every star. A foreign land of people already there. The Canaanite was in the land everywhere. And still the Lord appeared and said unto Abram, unto thy seed will I give this land. No scam, no delay, just the next layer of the promise shown. He built an altar there, the first one, his own. Removed from there to a mountain on the east of Bethel. Pitched this tent, Bethel on the west, on the detail east side. And there we built another altar, called on the name of the Lord, didn't falter. Going on still toward the south, still moving, still trusting the direction without proving. Every step before he took it, that's the walk of faith. Departure before destination, that's the talk. Get thee out of thy country, leave thy kindred behind. Get out of thy father's house, unto a land I will find. For thee he didn't say where, just said go. And Abraham went. That's all you need to know. That's all. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will shew thee. Genesis 12:1. No map, no address, just go. And he went. That's faith. The Lord. And the Lord appeared. The Lord appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. Ahead of everything else, the land was named, the promise-given location. Abram stood in the midst of Canaan. Canaanites still there, still occupying every corner. And God said, I'm not lying, this is yours, not yet, but it's yours in the word. And the word of God is more solid than the dirt. Unto thy seed will I give this land. Right here, right here. The first time the promise had an address clear. He didn't own a foot of it, stood on someone else's ground. Built an altar, called the name, that's the sound of faith receiving what it cannot yet hold. He built an altar unto the Lord who appeared to him right there on the spot at the brim of the promise. He didn't try to purchase it, didn't try to negotiate possession. The summit of faith is to worship at the place of the promise before the promise arrives. To be honest with God about the gap between the word and the reality, and call it worship anyway, that's the quality. Unto thy seed will I give this land. Right here, right here. The first time the promise had an address clear. else's ground. Built an altar, the name, that's the sound of faith receiving what it cannot yet hold. The land was full of people who didn't know his name, who had no idea that the man passing through had a claim on the territory that God had already stamped with the seal of covenant. The promise camped in Abram's heart long before it changed the landscape. He walked through someone else's inheritance, building altars, calling names, leaving a trace of worship everywhere he went. That's the grace of a man who received the promise in the spirit before the natural ever caught up to it. Hear it, the first promise always comes before the possession. Worship is the bridge between the two, that's the lesson. Unto thy seed will I give this land. Right here. The first time the promise had an address clear. He didn't own a foot of it, stood on someone else's ground. Built an altar, the name, that's the sound of faith receiving what it cannot yet hold. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said,
Unto thy seed will I give this land.
And there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him.
Genesis 12:7.
He didn't own a foot of it.
He built an altar anyway. That's the posture of faith.
Abram was very rich in cattle, silver and gold. Lot also had flocks and herds and tents. The road couldn't hold them both. The land couldn't bear them. Together their herdmen started striving between them. Abram's herdmen and Lot's herdmen, conflict in the camp. The Canaanite and the parasite was still in the land damp. Cloth on a situation that could ignite. Abram saw it, called Lot and said, let's talk before we floor it. Let there be no strife between me and thee, between my herdmen and thine. We're family. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate now. If thou go left, I'll go right. That's the vow of the generous man. First choice always goes to the one beside you. That's how the generous grows. Let there be no strife between me and thee, between my herdmen and thine. We are family. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate. If thou wilt take the left hand, I go to the right straight. If thou depart to the right, I'll go to the left. No argument, no insisting on what's my best interest. I'm giving you first pick. That's the move of the man who knows God has his back. That's the groove. Let there be no strife between me and thee, between my herdmen and thine. We're family. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate now. If thou go left, I'll go right. That's the vow of the generous man. The first choice always goes to the one beside you. That's how the generous grow. Lot lifted up his eyes and saw the plain of Jordan, well watered everywhere before the Lord had hardened. Sodom and Gomorrah like the garden of the Lord, like Egypt, Lot chose that. Took the east road, Abram dwelled in Canaan. Lot pitched towards Sodom, the generous man gave up the best land. Got them both what they needed, then the Lord said to Abram, lift up thine eyes and look north, south, east. I am giving all the land thou seest to thee and to thy seed forever. The generous man always gets what he needs. After the giving, you can't outgive the one who owns everything. Give first, let go. Watch what the generous brings. Let there be no strife between me and thee, between my herdmen and thine. We're family. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate now. If I'll go left, I'll go right. That's the vow of the generous man. First choice always goes to the one beside you. That's how the generous grow. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. Genesis 13:8. He gave Lot the first choice. God gave Abraham everything after. Can outgive God? Yeah. Yeah. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. The weight of that sentence on a man who been waiting. Great. Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me? Seeing I go childless, what do I see? In the future without an heir, the steward of my house shall be mine heir. Eliezer, quiet as a mouse. The question sat between them, God and the man who had obeyed everything and still no son, no plan visible. Just the desert and the waiting in the tent. Yeah. Count the stars. If thou be able to number them, so shall thy seed be. That's the word, the anthem. If he believed in the Lord and he counted it as righteousness, that's it, that's the summit. Count the stars. Believe the promise, that's the call. And behold, the word of the Lord came again. This shall not be thine heir. The word came then. He that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. Out into the night, the owls and the stars above. God brought them outside and said, look now toward heaven. No God needed, just the sky. Tell the stars, count them. If thou be able to number them, confront them with the number, and he couldn't. Nobody can. So shall thy seed be. That's the plan. If thou be able to number them, so shall thy seed be. That's the word, the anthem. He believed in the Lord and he counted it as righteousness. That's it, that's the summit. Count the stars. Believe the promise, that's the call. And he believed in the Lord. 4 words, that's the verse. He believed past the circumstance, past the curse of an empty tent, past the age, past the evidence of everything visible that said impossible. The dense weight of years without a child. Still he believed. Then he counted it to him as righteousness. Receive, not earn, not perform, just believe. That's the moment the whole Bible had been building toward the faith chapter. The Hall of Fame moment, the word. Believe before the proof arrived. Count the stars. If you can number them, you can. But your faith bars are enough. Just believe. Let God count the rest. Count the stars. If thou be able to number them, so shall thy seed be. That's the word, the anthem. He believed in the Lord and he counted it as righteousness. That's it, that's the summit. Count the stars. Believe the promise, that's the call. And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. Genesis 15:6. All words, the whole gospel in one sentence. He believed, God counted it right. Didn't feel everybody else. Yo, God said, bring me a heifer of 3 years old, a she-goat, a ram, a turtle dove, bold instructions. And the young pigeon, Abram took them all, divided them in the midst, laid each piece the call of the ancient covenant ceremony. Birds divided against each other, the fowls came down, not guided. Away by Abram, he drove them away, waited all day in the heat. As the sun went down, he faded into a deep sleep, and a horror of great darkness fell. A smoking furnace and a burning lamp passed through. Between the pieces, God alone, not to walk the covenant. He bound himself, not share the most one-sided promise ever declared. In that same day, the Lord made a covenant sealed with Abram, the land, the promise revealed. God spoke into the darkness, no surely, that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land, purely not theirs. They shall serve them and be afflicted. 400 years in the nation that inflicted that affliction, I will judge afterward. They shall come out with great substance, the reward of the patient covenant. Thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good age. It gathers into the 4th generation. They return here, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp passed through. Between the pieces, God alone, not to walk the covenant. He bound himself, not share the most one-sided promise ever declared. In that same day, the Lord made a covenant sealed with Abram, the land, the promise revealed. And it came to pass when the sun went down and it was dark,
a smoking furnace.
the crown of the ceremony, a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. God alone, steadfast. In the ancient world, the covenant walk meant both parties walk between the pieces. Each took oath by saying, may what happened to these animals happen to me if I break the word. The cannibals of consequence, waiting for the breakup, but God alone walked through.
The promise maker
Bound himself without asking Abram to walk one-sided. Grace, that's the covenant talk. In that same day, the Lord made a covenant sign. Unto thy seed have I given this land, the whole line. From the river of Egypt to the Euphrates wide, God walked it alone. Abram just stood beside a smoking furnace and a burning lamp passed through. Between the pieces, God alone, not to walk the covenant, he bound himself, not share the most one-sided promise ever declared. In that same day, the Lord made a covenant seal with Abram, the land, the promise revealed. And it came to pass when the sun went down and it was dark, behold a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces.
Genesis
15:17. God walked it alone. Abram didn't have to. That's grace in its oldest form. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bore him no children. She had a handmaid, an Egyptian, the building of a plan that wasn't the plan. Hagar was her name. Sarai said unto Abram, the waiting is the same. Every morning, no child the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. Going unto my maid, explained away with logic. It shall perhaps be built by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai, the blur between the promise and the shortcut closing in. Sarai said unto Abram, going unto my maid, maybe I'll obtain children by her. The shortcut laid out on the table. Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai, and that was the consequential choice. The shortcut is always available. Always looks right. The shortcut always costs more than the wait. Every night, 10 years they've been in Canaan, 10 years of waiting, 10 years of watching the promise without creating the answer themselves, and then the plan shifted. The human solution offered, Abram gifted. Hagar to himself by Sarai's hand, she conceived, and when she saw that she had conceived, she perceived that her mistress was despised in her eyes. The chain of consequence beginning, the shortcut strain always shows up in the relationships around the shortcut. The tension in the camp, the sound of what a human solution to a divine promise cost. Sarai said unto Abram, going unto my maid, maybe I'll obtain children by her. The shortcut laid out on the table. Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai, and that was the consequential choice. The shortcut is always available. Always looks right. The shortcut always costs more than the wait. Every night, Sarai said to Abram, my wrong be upon thee. I gave my maid to thy bosom, and now she sees that she has conceived. I am despised in her eyes. The Lord judged between me and thee. The cries of a situation nobody knew how to exit gracefully. Abram said, thy maid is in thy hand. Face it free, do to her as it pleases thee. And Sarai dealt hardly with her, and Hagar fled. And early, the angel of the Lord found her in the wilderness by a fountain of water. The shortcut success always produces someone who runs, someone who flees. The shortcut makes promises it cannot keep with ease. Sarai said unto Abram, going unto my maid, maybe I'll obtain children by her. The shortcut laid out on the table. Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai, and that was the consequential choice. The shortcut is always available. Always looks right. The shortcut always costs more than the wait. Every night in Sarai, Sarai said unto Abram, behold now, the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid, and maybe that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. Genesis 16:2. 10 years of waiting. One moment of human reasoning, consequences.
that lasted generations.
Abram was 99 years old, 24 years since the calling year, 24 years of fears and faith and waiting in the mess of Hagar and Ishmael, and the promise still not fully visible. I will appear. The Lord appeared and said, I am the Almighty God, walk before me. I am El Shaddai, the all-sufficient, be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant with thee. The subject about to change, I will multiply thee exceedingly. Neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram, but Abraham shall thy name be. I am making thee a father of many nations, the way of a new name, a new identity, a new estate. Your name changes when your calling changes. That's real. Abraham, father of nations, that's the deal. And Abram fell on his face and God talked with him, saying, as for me, behold, my covenant is with him. That is you, thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name anymore. The foundations of your identity are shifting. Abram no more. Abram means exalted father, but the score has changed. Abraham, father of a multitude, father of many nations. The altitude of the new name matches the new calling. That's the work of God in renaming. He doesn't just give a perk, he gives a name that carries the weight of the purpose. Abraham, every time someone called him by this, neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram, but Abraham shall thy name be. I am making thee a father of many nations, the weight of a new name, a new identity, a new estate. Your name changes when your calling changes. That's real. Abraham, father of nations, that's the deal. He heard the promise and the greeting every morning. When Sarai called his name, every warning from a stranger, every introduction he made. The new name carried the covenant like a blade of grass carrying dew. You couldn't say Abraham without saying father of nations, the great I am. Embedded in the syllables of the identity, I have made thee a father of many nations. Free from the old Abram who was still waiting, the new Abraham already is what the promise said true. Before Isaac arrives, the name declares it done. Your name is the prophecy. Abraham, the one from whom all nations would be blessed. That's the call. A new name carries the new thing. Give it your all. Neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram, but Abraham shall thy name be. I am making thee a father of many nations, the weight of a new name, a new identity, a new estate. Your name changes when your calling changes. That's real. Abraham, father of nations, that's the deal. Neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. Genesis 17:5. The name changed before the son arrived. The declarations came before the delivery. That's how God works. The Lord appeared unto Abraham in the plains of Mamre as he sat in the tent during the heat of the day, free from labor resting. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. He took one look and ran from the tent door to meet them, bowed himself toward the ground, no need to greet them with questions first, with hospitality instead. My lord, if now I have found favor, he said. He ran to meet them from the tent door. He ran at the heat of the day. This is the plan of hospitality. Rest under the tree. Let me fetch water. Let me fetch bread. Free service to the stranger. Entertaining angels unaware. Pass not away from thy servant. Let a little water be fetched, and wash your feet. The altar of hospitality built in real time. Rest yourselves under the tree, and I will fetch a morsel. The shelves of the generous man always have something comfort your hearts. After that ye shall pass on support for the journey. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, so do as thou hast said. Observant Abraham hastened into the tent. Sarah make ready 3 measures of fine meal needed steady. He ran to meet them from the tent door. He ran at the heat of the day. This is the plan of hospitality. Rest under the tree. Let me fetch water. Let me fetch bread. Free service to the stranger. Entertaining angels unaware. Make cakes upon the hearth. He ran to the herd, fetched a calf, tender and good. Gave it to the word of a servant who dressed it quickly. He took butter, milk in the calf dress, said it no stutter. Before them stood by them under the tree as they did eat. Where is Sarah thy wife? Free question. And he said, behold in the tent. And one said, I will certainly return. Heaven sent the time of life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. Behind him in the tent door, heard it hospitality won. The moment the promise renewed over a meal. 3 strangers, 3 angels. The deal of the covenant spoken again over bread and meat. Hospitality opened the door. The promise walked through. Complete. He ran to meet them from the tent door. He ran at the heat of the day. This is the plan of hospitality. Rest under the tree. Let me fetch water. Let me fetch bread. Free service to the stranger. Entertaining angels unaware. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre. And he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them. Genesis 18. 1, 2. He ran to strangers in the heat of the day. And the promise walked through his tent door. Rose up from there and looked towards Sodom. Abraham went with them to bring them on the bottom. Rode out, and the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do see? And Abraham shall become a great and mighty nation, and all nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. The foundations of the covenant, giving them standing, giving them access to the counsel of God. The boldest address any human being ever made to God was coming. Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? That be far from thee to slay the righteous. Wicked shall not the judge of all the earth do right. Abraham stood before the Lord in the light of the boldest conversation any man ever had. And Abraham drew near. That phrase says everything. Drew near, not backed away, not trembling. With passive acceptance, drew near to God and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the dead? Wicked, if there be 50 righteous within the city, wilt thou also destroy and not spare the city for the 50 righteous that are therein? The math of mercy being proposed, the aftermath of the prayer, already changing the conversation that be far from thee to do. The declaration bold as any bar ever written, shall not the judge of all the earth do right? That thought. Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? That be far from thee to slay the righteous. Wicked shall not the judge of all the earth do right? Abraham stood before the Lord in the light of the boldest conversation any man ever had. And the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 50. Righteous. I will spare the place, the nifty. Negotiation beginning. Abraham answered again. Behold, now I have taken upon me the pen of boldness, writing in real time. I am but dust and ashes, yet I'm standing here. What if 45? The flashes of the negotiation go in 45, 40, 30, 20, 10. Each time the story of God's mercy expanding to meet the prayer of one man standing in the gap. The rare portrait of intercessory prayer in its oldest form. Abraham standing between Sodom and the storm, counting down to 10 and God saying yes to each number. The judge of all the earth does right, no blunder. In his justice or his mercy, both present in the conversation. That's the ancient testament. Will also destroy the righteous with the wicked. That be far from me to slay the righteous. Wicked. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? Abraham stood before the Lord in the light of the boldest conversation any man ever had. Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? Genesis 18, 23, 25. He drew near, he negotiated, God answered every single time. That's intercession. That's the boldest prayer ever prayed.
Yes, sir. And the light, yes. Always. Get the light. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken, led her body through what her age said impossible. She conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, believed that the set time of which God had spoken to him, Isaac, the child of laughter, to the brim of everything the promise said arriving real, not metaphor, not spiritual, only the deal was a physical baby in a 90-year-old woman's arms. And Sarah said, God had made me to laugh, so that all that here will laugh with me. The aftermath of the impossible arriving, Isaac is here. Laughter is the sound of promise kept, that's clear. God always gets the last laugh. Always. And Abraham called the name of his son the joy of naming him Isaac, meaning laughter. The boy whose name carried the memory of the doubt that became the faith that became the shout of joy. Sarah had laughed when she heard the promise. Now she laughed again, but different. The promise kept produces a different laughter than the promise heard. One is the laugh of impossibility, the other is the laugh of fulfilled reality. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that here will laugh with me. The aftermath of the impossible arriving, Isaac is here. Laughter is the sound of promise kept, that's clear. God always gets the last laugh. Always. Yeah. Always. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that here will laugh with me. The graph of the impossible turns laughter into testimony. Who would have said after that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age, struck with joy. 25 years away, in 25 years from the call to the dating of Isaac's arrival. God's timing is precise, not early, not late, exactly right. The price of the wait is always paid back in the laughter of the thing arriving before and after. Both in his hand, trust the time, and Isaac came. God made Sarah laugh, he'll do the same. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that here will laugh with me. The aftermath of the impossible arriving, Isaac is here. Laughter is the sound of promise kept, that's clear. God always gets the last laugh. Always. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that here will laugh with me. Genesis 21:6. 25 years away and one baby, the whole world changed. God always gets the last laugh.
Sarah saw the son of Hagar Egyptian mocking Isaac and said unto Abraham, stop this, cast out the bondwoman and the son. He shall not be heir with my son Isaac. The thought was grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. Ishmael was his too, the morning sun rose on a situation with no clean answer. Every shortcut produces its own cancer of consequence that eventually demands a resolution that hurts someone. That's the institution of cause and effect. The Hagar decision made in chapter 16, arriving for payment in chapter 21. The scene, and Abraham rose up early in the morning, took bread and a bottle of water. The morning of a decision made and now completed sent her away, and she departed and wandered that day. The consequence of the shortcut arrived in full. God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad. Believe us when we say hearken unto Sarah's voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Also of the black-headed Ishmael will I make a nation, because he is thy seed. The dual situation held in God's hands, both sons seen, both covered. The primary covenant through Isaac, the other line through Ishmael, both accounted. Abraham rose up early in the morning, took bread and a bottle of water. The morning of a decision made and now completed sent her away, and she departed and wandered that day. The consequence of the shortcut arrived in full. And Abraham rose up. And Abraham rose up. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, took bread and a bottle of water. The morning weight of the decision gave it to Hagar, putting it on her shoulder. The scar of the separation and the child, and sent her away. She departed and wandered in the wilderness that day of Beersheba, and the water was spent in the bottle. She cast the child under one of the shrubs. The throttle of grief full open, let me not see the death of the child. Set over against every breath a prayer. God heard the voice of the lad. An angel called to Hagar, what aileth thee? The angel said, fear not, for God had heard the voice of the lad. God opened her eyes, she saw well, not sad. Ending but a provision, the shortcut's consequence met by God's mercy, both always present. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, took bread and a bottle of water. The morning of a decision made and now completed sent her away, and she departed and wandered that day. The consequence of the shortcut arrived in full. And Abraham rose up. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water, and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder. And the child and sent her away. Genesis 21:14. The shortcut always costs someone something. God's mercy meets the consequence, but the consequence still arrives. Yeah, and it came to pass after these things, being Isaac's birth, the joy, the laughter, the springs of everything the promise set. After all of that, God did tempt Abraham, not to cause him to fall flat, but to test, to prove, to reveal what was inside. The man who had believed for 25 years, the pride of faith about to be examined at his deepest level. Not with the loss of land or livestock, the level of the test was set at the most precious thing he held. Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, the roughest. Offer it there for a burnt offering. Upon one of the mountains I will tell thee of. The son is the offering. That's the sentence. 3 days walk. And he said, Abraham, and he said, behold, here I am. And he said, take now thy son, thine only I am. Asking for the irreplaceable, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest. God named the love the black. Weight of the command, pressing on every syllable. Take him, whom thou lovest, a considerable pain of 3 words. Whom thou lovest, God acknowledge what he was asking. The ride of the test, touching the most tender place in the man. Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of just like the first call. Hell, on the uncertainty of step-by-step obedience, Abraham received the word, the intentions of the man who learned to trust without the details. 25 years of that practice, no trails blazed before him, just the voice, just the word. Take thy son, thine only son. And Abraham heard and did not argue, did not negotiate down, did not offer a substitute before leaving town. Rose up early, that phrase again, the early rising of the obedient man, always surprising in its immediacy. He didn't wait to feel ready, he rose up early. That's the lesson, go steady. Say now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, the roughest. Offer it there for a burnt offering. Upon one of the mountains I will tell thee of. The son is the offering. That's the sentence. Three days walk. And he said, take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering. Genesis 22:2. God named the love before asking for it. He knew what it cost. He asked anyway. That's the test. That's the test. That's the test. Son God, yes, side.
Walk into the grave.
Walk into the grave. Yeah. Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, laid it upon Isaac his son, the offering carried by the son to the place of his own sacrifice. He took the fire in his hand and the knife. The price of the journey become invisible in the instruments. They went both of them together. The tense silence of the walk, the wood on Isaac's back, the fire in Abraham's hand. Nothing lacks the symbolism. The son carrying what would burn him? My father. And he said, here am I, my son. And he said, where is the lamb? The one for a burnt offering. And Abraham said, my son God will provide himself a lamb. Instead of the answer Isaac needed, the answer he gave was more true than he knew. Walk into the grave. Walk into the grave. Then Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, said, my father. And he said, here am I. The thread of the conversation so ordinary, the intimacy of father and son on a mountain, the legacy of their relationship in 2 words. My father. Here am I, behold the fire and the wood, the rather obvious question rising, where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham, I am the man of faith who has walked this 40 years with a God who provides answer through the tears. He didn't show through the knife he was carrying. My father. And he said, here am I, my son. And he said, where is the lamb? The one for a burnt offering. And Abraham said, my son God will provide himself a lamb. Instead of the answer Isaac needed, the answer he gave was more true than he knew. Walk into the grave. My son God will provide himself a lamb. 4 words that carry more truth than Abraham heard himself saying. God will provide himself. The lamb is himself, the provision, and the one who I am are the same. Abraham spoke prophecy without knowing the full weight of what was flowing from his mouth. The answer to Isaac's question was the answer to the whole human question. Where is the lamb? God will provide himself. The lamb, 2,000 years later, the shelf of history held the answer visible. The son carrying the wood up the hill, the only one acceptable. But that morning Abraham just walked and answered what faith had always taught. When asked the unanswerable, God will provide. They went both of them together, side by side. My father. And he said, here am I, my son. And he said, where is the lamb? The one for a burnt offering. And Abraham said, my son God will provide himself a lamb. Instead of the answer Isaac needed, the answer he gave was more true than he knew. Walk into the grave. And Abraham said, my son God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. Genesis 22:8. He spoke more truth than he knew.
God will provide himself the lamb. 2,000 years later, he did. He did.
And they came to the place which God had told them of. Abraham built an altar there above everything else he did that morning. The altar first, then arranged the wood, then bound Isaac. The worst and best moment in the history of a father's obedience. Laid him on the altar upon the wood. The science of faith completing itself in the act. He stretched his hand and took the knife to slay his son. Fetched from the depths of his resolve the final obedience. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram. He looked, caught in the thicket by his horns, and Abraham went and took the ram, offered it. I am calling this place Jehovah Jireh. The Lord will provide. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven, Abraham, Abraham. The brim of the moment interrupted, and he said, here am I. And he said, lay not thine hand upon the lad, the sky opening in that moment, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest the ring of those words echoing. Now I know the test was for revelation, not for God who already assessed the heart, but for Abraham. Now I know, now you know what you're made of, what faith does, how you go to the altar with the knife and still believe. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram. He looked, caught in the thicket by his horns, and Abraham went and took the ram, offered it. I am calling this place Jehovah Jireh. The Lord will provide. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram, caught in the thicket, the old. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket, the old. Problem of the altar solved by God's provision. The ram caught by its horns, the decision already made in heaven before Abraham left home. God provided the substitute, not alone did Abraham go up that mountain. He was accompanied by the one who had the answer, who'd already ready the provision before the test began. Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will seek, will provide. The fear and the faith met in one moment. One ram, one altar, one obedient man. I am the Lord who provides. That's what the mountain said, and Abraham called the name of that place ahead of all future generations who would stand in need. In the mount of the Lord it shall be seen indeed. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram. He looked, caught in the thicket by his horns, and Abraham went and took the ram, offered it. I am calling this place Jehovah Jireh. The Lord will provide. Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh. As it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. Genesis 22:14. The ram was always there. The provision preceded the test. Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who sees and provides. Yeah, and blessing. That's the cause. That's the cause. Yeah. The angel of the Lord called unto Abraham a second time out of heaven and said, I am. By myself have I sworn. That's the gravity of the oath. God swearing by himself. The cavity of anything greater to swear by empty. Because thou hast done this thing. The plenty of the blessing flowing from the obedience. Not the perfection, the obedience. The science of the covenant confirmed on the mountain that day. In blessing I will bless thee, in multiplying I will multiply thy seed. The undying promise of the stars and the sand. Thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed, yes, shall all nations of the earth be blessed. Because thou hast obeyed my voice. that's the cause. In blessing I will bless thee, in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars flying of the heaven and as the sand upon the seashore. Thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. More than a personal blessing, a national destiny, a global covenant reaching every century after Abraham. In thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed. The implications of one man's obedience rippling through all of time. In blessing I will bless thee, in multiplying I will multiply thy seed. The undying promise of the stars and the sand. Thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed, yes, shall all nations of the earth be blessed. Because thou hast obeyed my voice, that's the cause. Because thou hast obeyed my voice, that phrase, the whole covenant confirmed. Because of the days of obedience, not sinless obedience. Abraham lied twice, called his wife his sister, not the sacrifice of perfection. The obedience of a man who kept coming back, who rose up early, who wept and still went, who asked the hard questions and still moved, who made the human suggestions of shortcuts and still returned to the word. That's the faith that moves God, not the herd and forgotten, but the herd and walked imperfectly but persistently. That's Abraham, perfectly imperfect and persistently obedient. That's the call. Father of nations from one man, that's all. One man, one voice, one call, one yes, and all nations of the earth were blessed. And I will bless thee, in multiplying I will multiply thy seed. The undying promise of the stars and the sand. Thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemy. And in thy seed, yes, shall all nations of the earth be blessed. Because thou hast obeyed my voice, that's the cause. And in thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed. Because thou hast obeyed my voice. Genesis 22:18. One man, one yes, all nations blessed. Not perfect obedience, persistent obedience. That's Abraham, father of nations.